Come on. Two,
Well, good morning. Welcome back to the Broadcast Retirement Network. I'm Jeff Snyder. This is BRN AM for Wednesday, January 5th, 2022. And our top story today, applying the principles of the Fresh Start Effect. Joining me now to discuss this and a lot more is Ziga Vizintin of Polkajaniska, Druzbah A. Ziga, Happy New Year. Great to see you. Thanks so much for joining us on the program this morning.
The same to you, best in 2022, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely, and it's always great to talk to our brothers and sisters over in Slovenia. And you wrote an article which I thought was absolutely fascinating, and it's really about applying the Fresh Start Effect to, I guess, New Year's resolutions and kind of things that we want to accomplish. So let's break down, what is the Fresh Start Effect?
Okay, basically the Fresh Start Effect ties in a bit with New Year's resolutions. We all make them, we all know them, and when I was writing the article, I did a bit research on it, and the tradition goes in Western culture quite far down. Basically, it goes down to Roman times, and Romans started each new year by making promises to their god Janus. Guess which god January is named after. And they made promises about to their god Janus about the beginnings of the new year. So basically, this is a really long established tradition. And the Fresh Start Effect is, according to behavioral science, like Kathy Milkman from Wharton has a great piece also on it. Basically, the Fresh Start Effect, we use it at certain timelines, like the beginning of a new year. And basically, this signals to us a new chapter in our lives. This makes it for us much easier to leave the past mistakes behind in the last year. And we say to ourselves, okay, this year I'm starting with a clean slate, and I'm going to form new habits like exercising regularly, saving for retirement, or anything else. So basically, at a certain passage of time, it's much easier for us to leave the past in the last year and to really start fresh at day one, January 1st.
Yeah, no need for you to apologize. I jumped on top of you. Sometimes it's hard to figure out when the guest is finishing, so that's on me. But Ziga, why I love this effect, and I think understanding how the human psyche works makes it easier to make changes, like we're going to talk about in segment 2, around savings and paying off debt. But why do we go astray if we do not achieve our objectives? Are our objectives too big, or are they really objectives that we think we want, but we're not passionate about them? We don't really want to make that change. So how do you align the effect and implementing the effect so that you're successful with any resolution that you have?
I think with the Fresh Start Effect, the key is when making changes, we also need to consider when are we making them. So it's not the same as, Wednesday or Monday, the beginning of the week. It's easier, according to research, for us to start at certain temporal landmarks, and it's different in every culture, but to really have this Fresh Start Effect so we can leave the past mistakes behind and start with a clean slate. Because if we're not burdened by the past mistakes, in December you're thinking, oh, I didn't exercise as much as I said I will in the last year, I'm eating everything, I'm still smoking, and so on. So it's not a good day to start, 25th of December, January 1st, you say, okay, last year was last year. This year, I really need to exercise more. I need to save more. And what was let bygones be bygones, how do they say? And I'm going to start today. So when making changes, I think it's important not only how you make them, but when you start.
Really important. And my mom and dad have always said, leave the past in the past. You can't change the past. You can only change the future. But for a lot of people, Ziga, that is really hard to do. And then goals can be, overwhelming. If you say, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, or I'm going to have $1,000 in emergency savings. The human condition wants to get it done tomorrow or today. They don't want to, but breaking things out, breaking these goals out incrementally seems to be a very effective way. So setting reasonable goals and then breaking it down into achievable objectives really seems to be the way to be successful.
True. Research found out if you make too high goals for yourself, you will only be disappointed. So they will work negatively. If I say, I don't know, I will start jogging 5 times a week, it's a bit too optimistic if I didn't go once, you know. But starting smaller, like 2 times, and then increasing it over time seems to work the best, because once we achieve this small goal, we feel positive, we get positive feedback, and now then you can step it up. If you say 5 times and don't achieve it, you only feel bad, and that's the downside of big goals, because people only see the people who achieve them, but most people don't, as you said. So it's best to really start small and to then escalate it as you go and get the positive feedback along the way, because we need it. Let's be honest, we all need the positive feedback, we need encouragement from others, so that really helps us. So starting small and then taking it further seems to be the best recipe.
I completely agree. And Ziga, I want to take a very quick break. And now that we've established the principles behind this effect, we're going to talk about applying them to savings, paying off debt, and a lot of other objectives. You're going to want to stay tuned right here on BRN AM. Imagine a new television network that will make you richer, healthier, and in control of your financial future. This network is for the policewoman in Nashville, Tennessee, the baker in Dubuque, Iowa, the teacher in Lexington, Kentucky. We want to make the idea of savings and retirement culturally relevant. But what do you see as a defining issue of the midterms, especially for the smaller businesses? I mean, they are the lifeblood of the American economy. Featuring exclusive interviews, current affairs, and docuseries. 33 years old, you retired early.
The philosophy is money only matters if it helps you live a life that you love.
But you got to start thinking about retirement as soon as you get in.
The Broadcast Retirement Network will drive very high engagement with premium partnerships. So this isn't retirement and savings for your parents or grandparents. This is for all Americans. And we're going to change the way you think about money. Welcome to the next frontier of retirement and savings. This is BRN, the Broadcast Retirement Network.
Are you stuck with a low credit score? A credit report and score that's causing you to be denied credit or pay higher interest rates than others for the same things? Then do what Terrence did and call Credit Repaired for your free credit evaluation to help restore your credit.
I started thinking about buying a new house, and my score wasn't where I needed it to be. I called and spoke with one of the representatives, and we just had a good conversation, and I liked what he was saying.
Just one call for his free credit evaluation was all it took to start back on the track to repairing his credit.
I'm seeing the deletions and I'm getting the report, so I know something's being done. It does make a difference to me.
All it takes is one call to get started.
Credit Repair has given me a second chance to have a better credit score.
Don't let a low credit score hold you back another day. Do what Terrence did and make the call for your free credit evaluation.
Call 800-819-4152. That's 800-819-4152. Again, 800-819-4152.
Welcome back. We're talking this morning to Ziga Vizintin of Pokajaniska, Druzbah A. Ziga, thanks so much for staying with us this morning.
Thanks again for having me.
Yeah, I'm so impressed. It's a new year and I haven't chased any guests away. You stuck around for the second segment. All right, let's talk about, we talked about the fresh start effect, the principles, breaking it down for the audience. Now let's talk about some of these financial goals. Paying down debt, having an emergency savings account, which we learned during COVID, very important, but also retirement savings. So how do we do that? How do we apply what we talked about in segment 1 to segment 2, to applying to savings?
Well, you know, saving for retirement or an emergency, I think the toughest thing is to start, because there are so many behavioral biases, and I write a lot about them. It's enough for a book, working against us. Procrastination, status quo, we know we delay everything, even the things we know are good for us, eating healthy, saving for retirement, and we just pass it down until we have to really do it. So I think here, when making change, if we're not lucky and we're not auto-enrolled in a retirement plan via our employer, and we need to do it on ourselves, I think really just this January timeline of the new year is one of the best times to really master the positive energy of the new year, leave the last year behind and say, okay, this year I'm gonna start making real steps to my financial independence, and I'm gonna start saving. And you just need to master that first step. And I think when you make it, if you make it, it's important to make it last. And this is, I think, really important to make it like via payroll deduction. So once you get the positive energy to go through the first step, to then set it and forget about it and to run it automatically.
Yeah, auto enrollment has been a complete success here in the States. Sounds like it's been a success in the Slovenian retirement system and elsewhere around the country. And you're right, Žiga, it's about kind of chipping away. I think about the game Don't Break the Ice, if you're familiar with that. I'm a little bit older than you are, but that was a game that I played, and you just chip away at your goal, and eventually you'll achieve it. And you don't need, Žiga, to put away $1,000 in the first month in case of emergency savings here in the States. You could put away $10 to start. It's about the action and building upon that action.
I think just to get over the first step, no matter how minute the amount is, I think just to get it and to have it via payroll deduction and then increase it over time. If your operator offers automatic escalation later down the line, even better. If not, it's just important to get through the first step. And after, 6 months, when you will look at the account, you will have, 500 euros or 50 euros in it, and you will feel positive about it. So I think really it's important to just start, no matter how small, set it, forget it, and then after a year, you will be positively reinforced, and then you will be eager to pay in even more if you will be able to.
And you bring up a temporal constraint. You mentioned a year, and I think that is actually brilliant. You shouldn't look at your accounts. At least it's my opinion. I want to get yours. You should look at your accounts every day and don't track the stock market going up or down. Stock markets go up, they go down. Sometimes they don't have any change. I think that's kind of rare, actually. But you really want to set your goal, implement the goal, and then check in every year or maybe quarterly. Kind of set some benchmarks for yourself, so that you're not driving yourself and making yourself neurotic and compulsive about achieving the objective.
True, I agree here with you. If you're saving for retirement, it's saving for, let's say, 40 years. So it doesn't make any sense to check your account daily or even weekly. So I think checking it once, twice, 3 times per year is more than enough just to get the positive feedback, so you see how much you have saved. But any other than that, I think it's probably has a negative effect. So it's important to know it's there, to check it occasionally, feel good about how it's growing, but don't have it on your phone and check it daily.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to drive yourself crazy. It's like social media. You're just going to, it just gets you in your brain, and you're just absolutely focused on that. Takes you away from other goals. Žiga, you're advisor to the management board of Pokojaniska Druzbah, a pension, a retirement plan. In terms of communicating to your participants in the retirement plan, how do you, for those plan sponsors, employers, whether they're here in the States, in Slovenia, or around Europe, or around the globe, how do you communicate this? How do you break this down? We're doing some of this on the show, but how do you break this down for your members?
Well, we also, in all our communication with the members and with the sponsors, we encourage long-term thinking, not to get involved in daily fluctuations of the funds, and to really also to have for the members options in your, let's say, online savings account, to show them projections. If you will be saving with this amount, you will have until your retirement this much and this much. If you will increase your savings, you will have that much more. So basically everything is set for the long view, and we really encourage our members and plan sponsors to really look this way and not get involved with looking short term. Pension saving is a long-term thing, and that's it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it just people, and I also think there's a piece where if you're the consumer, if you're the participant, you have an active role to play. Doesn't mean, Ziga, that you need to be a financial expert. That's what the purpose of target dates or risk-based funds or managed accounts are. You don't have to be the financial expert, but you do have to have some level of culpability and responsibility and engagement. Because someone else can't achieve financial security for you or independence for you, Ziga. You have to own some of it. Doesn't mean you have to be an expert, but you have to own some of it.
True. It's like your health. I think you are the biggest influence here. And in the end, it's your health, it's your financial independence, and you need to work on it. With the help, of course, of your employer, of the state, but in the end, it's your health, it's your life. So I think you need to be in the driving seat as much as possible, even if you're not the expert.
Absolutely. Well, Ziga, it's great checking in with you. Happy New Year. And we're going to check in with you throughout the year, and we'll see if you're achieving your goals. Ziga Vizintin, thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to having you back on the program again very soon.
Thank you, Jeff, and bye from Slovenia.
That wraps up this episode of BRN AM. Have a topic of interest, someone you think we should talk to, drop us a line. And don't forget, for all the information in lifestyle, wellness, finance, tech, and a lot more, check out today's edition of our morning newsletter, The Morning Pulse. Want to search our archives or check out our latest content? Then check out our streaming partners, Roku, Amazon, Samsung, and over 100 more. We're back again tomorrow. Until then, I'm Jeff Snyder. Stay safe, keep on saving, and don't forget, roll with the changes. Now is your opportunity to co-create content around any topic on the First Lifestyle and Wellness Network. Reach a global audience through our platform and co-own exclusive branded content. All of our programs are available on demand and also as audio-only podcasts, so you can take us on the go. Broadcast Retirement Network, available anytime, anywhere, and on any device.
Are you being audited and do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Is the IRS threatening to take more of your money? Don't fight the IRS alone. The Tax Doctor is here to help you negotiate your tax bill and reduce your stress. The IRS can freeze your assets and seize your bank accounts, but you can stop these IRS actions. The Tax Doctor will work with you using our years of experience to represent your case to help you get the best resolution under the IRS guidelines. Help is here to deal with the IRS to reduce your stress. We've handled thousands of cases, so we know what we're doing. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, do not call the IRS alone. Call a Tax Doctor now for a tax emergency analysis.
Call 800-224-6439.